Sign up today.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, do we go into the breach, dear friends?
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have going on today? Well, as I left you yesterday, there was the tiniest window that maybe a handful of these stocks was getting close to maybe giving a signal that it might be topping out. So what do I'm going to call them rabid bears do yesterday? In a 45-minute period, they short more than most days have for total short sales. Now, there is kind of a fairly interesting factoid, and that is either by percentage or total volume. We had the highest shorting yesterday, and if you look at it on a percentage basis, the highest shorting since the day after the 2016 election. A lot of people just if you didn't look at that 2016 November, whatever it was, 3rd or 4th reversal overnight, and come away saying that I probably shouldn't short that, I think that there's something wrong. I can understand, looking at signals, but man, that was probably, I think he had to be blind not to see that that was a overnight reversal of the first order. Yesterday, it was kind of up. I thought, well, maybe there might be something I wanted to short, mostly because a lot of the stocks I'm following, even today, haven't really moved that much. We've got a little bit of sector rotation on what happened with the jobs numbers and everything else in the last couple of days. But everybody's kind of looking at TV, and I think they just can't believe the market's going up, and they can't help themselves of planting the flag every 5 feet forward, saying this is the line in the sand. Well, no, this is the line in the sand. This is the line in the sand. But I think there's probably never been a better time to point out that the CNNs or MSNBCs or the Fox News channels are not a reflection of the reality all the time that you want. Maybe you want to believe it, but probably not something that is a reflection of reality. It is, 2 million people going back to work is a lot more than some pundit talking head telling everybody why this city or that city who's having problems that night knows exactly the way to fix it when they've been espousing the same thing for 50 years and it hadn't worked. A culture of failure, but yet these people are the ones yelling and screaming about how they know how to fix it, but they never really give any kind of details. Kind of like a trader that's lost, been wrong on every single trade, but I don't know, whether they find something else to blame it on, it just can't work. I don't know. It's one of those things that just makes my head hurt to see people that have the biggest failure rate tell everybody else how to do something. I've had a few of those people. I'm sure anybody that's traded for a length of time has had somebody tell you that you should look at this stock or that stock, it's going to the moon. And, of course, it was some kind of pump and dump or fraud. I remember the one I first actively went after, and that was, I'm going to say around maybe 2010. That's when a guy was going to buy a dock from for the boat was telling me all about how he'd been out in the Midwest and wheat was doing nothing but sitting in a lot of water, and wheat just had to go higher. And of course, I'm not a big commodity guy, but I figured him telling me that it had to go higher, the first thing I needed to go in and short it. And yes, in the next 2 weeks, one of the biggest downside moves in history. And I want to thank the guy for telling me about that, because I probably wouldn't have shorted it or thought about shorting it unless he told me to go long it. And I don't know if I'm just always contrary, but I'm certainly skeptical. I try not to be cynical, but it's hard for all these people that tell you they know what's going on. They know what the jobs numbers are going to be. They're going to know how long the virus is going to be. They just have a horrible and dismal record. And betting on that only makes you broker, as far as I can tell, unless you're betting against it, in which case you're probably doing doing much better. But just about everything, the people claiming the end of the world, they've been wrong. As far as I can tell from a handful of those folks that have been wrong, they're doubling down or tripling down or quadrupling down on being wrong. And I think, what would the world be like if there were actual stops for something other than the price of a stock? I think it would probably be a smarter world, but maybe that's why you go to extremes. I like that Billy Joel song. Why do we go? Oh, what is it? Why does he go to extremes? Yeah, that's what it is. But you never know. Anyway, so we've got record short sales into the close yesterday, only to have. I think we could say this was a little bit of a spanking. Now, the things I've been wondering about is how the market closes today. The reason why is I suspect that as much and as heavy as people went after the market yesterday, they probably used margin. Because that is not only do people short heavily at before highs, but they tend to do it with margin and get run out before the top comes in too on margin, and actually take a double beating instead of just the single beating they normally get. Now we're at 215. We're probably somewhere around where any margin calls will come. I don't know if you get them today. Maybe they get them on Monday. But you have 3 days to add more money to your account, or they'll liquidate it. Now, I guess I'll probably find out maybe over the weekend if I talk to some people, or maybe sometimes the people in Interactive Brokers will tell just how many people were out there getting forced out of positions. They're actually fairly good in the fact that they'll force you out at a heartbeat's notice before you take even worse losses. So they're one of the better brokers out there to not only watch themselves, of course, their potential losses, but actually by taking you out, even if you don't want to. A lot of times it's much better for your account balance. We'll talk more about this when we come back.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1933, that is a date in history, the United States went off the gold standard, a monetary system in which currency is backed by gold. Then Congress enacted a joint resolution nullifying the right of creditors to demand payment in gold. The United States had been on a gold standard since 1879, except for an embargo on gold exports during World War I. But the bank failures during the Great Depression, I don't think anybody thought there was anything great about it, of 1930s, frightened the public into hoarding gold, making the policy untenable. And, of course, the rest is histoire. But on this day in 1933. Okay, so I was talking a little bit about just how significant I've been taking it, going 2-3 weeks? Maybe 4 weeks, where literally no one will do anything but short the market as the market has gone higher. At some point, you get 2 or 3 trades in a row that go against you. Maybe you should try the other side. But if you can't do that, then maybe you shouldn't try going after the market again if you've been wrong all those times. My particular thought, though, is that maybe it just doesn't change. Maybe we go to 3,400 before everybody quits shorting. Maybe not. I kind of about tend to think that maybe we've got some kind of trading range, maybe down to 3,050 or 3,000 over the next few weeks. Mostly because a lot of the stocks are not participating today. They're not, significantly lower, but they're not higher. And a lot of times it's a sell the news thing. We've had a couple of days of very good news. My guess is, too, that we probably see the terrorists and rioters that we've seen over the last 7-10 days turn to just a bunch of people mulling around. And that's great as long as they can, as some of the rebel rousers in those groups that are peaceful, of course, What are they just acting? Well, I don't know if they're knowledgeably acting, but they are cover for the miscreants. I don't get to use the word miscreants very often. So the question is, if we just go to a bunch of people mulling around, people are going back to work. We got the PPP update bill today that probably takes you into mid-September for a lot of these smaller companies that weren't able to participate in the very beginning. Of course, everybody was in a big hurry to do stuff. You make mistakes. And of course, this was a Band-Aid to fix a lot of those mistakes. But that also means that we continue to go on, I think, through just a cursory reading, somewhere around through September. So I think we've got summer taken care of. And if we can get everything back to normal for next fall, then maybe we get a virus or a vaccine, and things can tend to go back to normal. A lot of built-up demand, but most of what I'm seeing is just incredibly asinine shorting on things like the airlines. Again, it's not that you might think that they're going to go down. It is that you short when everybody else is shorting, and they just stick it to you, which is what's happened. Was I talking to you yesterday or the day before for somebody? I think it was on United Airlines. I was saying that this thing could go to 45 into this gap, and it certainly did it today, and it rolled back down. But that's what a short squeeze is all about. I think the people that weren't trading probably around that 24, 36 hours after the 2016 election, or that weren't trading somewhere around 1999 when all the dot-com stocks were doing this every single day. The kind of action we're seeing today where things, you knew the companies were broke. You knew the companies didn't even have a product to sell like pets.com. It didn't matter. The stocks were 50, 60, 70% shorted, and all they did was proceed to take every penny away from those traders who thought that they knew it all and had been in the business all of 6 months. We continue. Some people are saying it's the Robin Hood people. I don't think they have that much cash. It takes a ton of cash to go on. I think there are a lot of people that just truly believe everything was going to hell in a handbasket, and it didn't matter how many times they shorted, they're going to short again. If they weren't covering, it just got worse. But this is one of the stocks that looks like it is finally topped out. That's what you want to see in a stock that the short squeeze is probably over. Get a lot of volume. It rotates all the way back down, or most of the way back down, and sets the high. So that's okay. Can you get it now, PP? If you don't get it, I do not know. All I know is that I think if you originally applied and weren't able to get it because of other issues, you can get it now. But I haven't read the Band-Aid that they passed, and President Trump signed it today. But I have a feeling that I think we were up about 700 points on the Dow when he signed it. And what are we up now? Take a quick look. Almost 876. I think a little bit of that. I mean, everybody knew it had passed. Everybody knew it had been signed. So I think some of the bounce, especially in the S&P stocks earlier in the morning, before we ever had the jobs numbers, I think some of that was kind of baked in. I think we were looking, around up 30 points on the S&P pre that jobs number. NASDAQ's up 218. A lot of those stocks look like they're kind of sucking some wind too. So we're up a lot. It is a lot on stocks that weren't running before, or the ones that had been most heavily beaten up, like things like the airlines. In fact, I would imagine if I went through the airlines, we'd find, maybe I'll do that, we'll find some more that look like United Airlines. But when people ask me, and I was talking yesterday about the show, I want one more gap up on some of these stocks, This is what I'm looking for, and that is that United Airline thing where you open at the highs and you basically sell off all day long. That is a good signal that everybody got forced out early in the morning. And on a percentage basis, my guess is a lot of people were short at about 35. The brokers, I don't know, but may have just taken them out in the first few minutes of the open. That's generally what happens. Your broker, like I said, normally Interactive Broker is pretty good, but especially other brokers, they won't take a chance. They get a high tick at the open. You're dead meat. That's it. You're out of the trade, and that is all. You've lost your cash. You didn't even get a chance to go back here and maybe close at 42 if you got that margin call, which is a good question. Should you ever answer a margin call? The answer is, if you're a good trader, you probably didn't get one. Be back in a minute.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we get one of the first questions today is about Slack. A symbol on it is WORK, a product that I like. A company that I dislike because they haven't really figured out how to monetize their business now. A lot of people were thinking that Amazon was going to buy them out. I think that the last 4 or 5 days as it went higher was you had no real sign of strength and volume as it went higher, but there were a lot of people pressing a rumor that Amazon was going to buy them for their web services business. In fact, there's a deal that was out yesterday on that, talking about Amazon using it for their 40 or 30,000 employees. Forget how much. It is a great product. It has a problem with raising cash. The product with Microsoft Teams is better on a variety of fronts than Slack. But Slack is very good at what it does. It's just no one wants to pay for it. So it doesn't matter how good you are if people won't pay up. When you got a company that's able to pay up, they generally go to Microsoft Teams. So it's not that it's a bad product. It's a product that lives by itself, that doesn't have all the other products around it that Microsoft has, with the ability to interact with Excel and Word and PowerPoint and all the other stuff that they have for their Office suite. And that's really what the power of Teams is. Slack really works well and was kind of devised around people working on projects on GitHub that were kind of free or open source. And guess what? If no one's making any money off of it, who's there to pay for it? Excellent product. I had my own room for machine learning on some of the first versions of machine learning on Microsoft. I had no problem with it. But again, the people that were using it were programmers. They weren't a bunch of retail idiots who, have you plugged the computer in? When you deal with people that are build a product that is very specialized for people that are very knowledgeable about computers, it has a kind of a problem going past people that are technologically challenged, maybe. It's a good way to describe them. But just my thoughts out there. It is a product looking for a home to make it bigger than the sum of its individual part. And frankly, maybe they get some kind of killer app that goes along with it, because one of the nice things about Slack is that you can put in these modules that extend your chat room experience and interactive experience. The problem is, again, there are just not that many good ones that work once you go past something that's like an open source project or something like that. Now, Amazon's going to be using it mostly because, of course, they don't want to be using anything where Microsoft could be reading what they're doing. And whether they can buy them or not is a real sore subject. Even Elon Musk was calling for their heads and be split up yesterday. Maybe we'll talk about that with Tom today. But even Elon Musk was calling for them to be split up. And it is problematic, I think, for Amazon to buy or acquire anybody else. As my dad used to tell me, you're walking on eggs, son, don't hop. And I have a feeling that that's the way that Amazon is thinking right now, and that is we can help you out, but we can't buy you. We've got a lot of different targets on our back. Okay. Yeah, I guess did the shorts get it right? I think not so much the shorts are right as the bulls were wrong about it getting bought out from Amazon. I don't think that many bears probably even contemplated it. They were lucky. I don't think that there was that much in it. Amazon could have done something stupid like buy it, and just trying to whistle past the graveyard, but I don't see it. Okay, we got some more emails, I think, coming in here. If I can actually find them, we will get them. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. Next question is NVIDIA. NVIDIA getting ready to break out. We shall take a look. Well, it certainly is hanging above a 9-day moving average. It's just gone sideways. It's up a little bit, not a lot of volume. For me, I would love for this to come back to about $300. It's probably a bit ahead of itself, especially when we look at the next quarter, which is probably not going to be that good because them and AMD both are selling their video cards out at a discount right now, waiting for the new products in September. I think there's probably going to little bit, when everybody looks at the not the revenue so much as the margins, they're going to see those margins dropping in the next quarter. I think their earnings are out in August too, which is problematic, maybe the end of July or something. So they are going to be out before those new products turn. But they got a lot. I mean, I think they built a little bit too much, both of them. So there's going to be kind of depressed prices. I'm starting to see the first kind of few ads for NVIDIA stuff. AMD has had ads on there and discounts on a lot of their products for a while. But NVIDIA, just a few of them now. So maybe not as bad, but at the same point, everybody's going to be waiting for September or October to buy the new cards. And they're going to have to discount the existing line down fairly hard because the new cards are supposed to be about 50% faster for the same price. So it's going to be very hard to sell the existing stock off. So I would like to see this thing come back to about $300 on a slight volume pullback before I would buy it again. Okay, got that one. Can Apple go to 350? Well, certainly it could go to 350. Of course, they're going to be talking about new stuff. What you're not getting today on a day that has a lot of volume is a huge break with a lot of volume above the February 12th high. This is not something saying you should short, but you're about 6 million shares shy right now of that February 12th high. It's just, again, still people that last week or so have not been shorting Apple, but they haven't been covering it. We got a little bit of that today, but still not a lot of volume. My guess is the next big volume day in Apple, maybe it's on Monday, is a kind of a pop. Everybody does it, and it does that UAL kind of thing where it just sells off all day. And that point, you'd probably like to see Apple come back at a minimum to about 310, I think. But there may be a little bit more in that, maybe down to 300. We'll be back in a minute.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And let's see what else we have. Okay. We were talking about Apple. I think IWM can go higher. It can always go higher. I think a better question is, what is the odds of it going higher instead of can it go higher? Anything can go higher. If that's a 1% chance, it can go higher. And I wouldn't believe anybody that told you there was more than an 80% chance that it couldn't go higher. Things just aren't that cut and dried in the market. But you are back into this gap, and that gap is from the 5th of March and the 4th of March and the 27th of February. This is where the big volume had kind of come in. You wanted about 72 million shares today. You got, 35 million? That's why I suspect that why we may not instantly reverse on a lot of these. We're probably somewhere around some sell the news kinds of tops. That means you could pull back for a handful of days. Again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe, something like that. Then we get into options expiration. We'll see just how bullish those are when I look at the data tonight. In fact, I'll probably try to look at it during the next break, but that's not. Okay, Dave, I know that you're savvy. Is the market going up because it thinks one candidate is going to win the presidential election? I've seen a lot of people trying to do some work on machine learning and predicting elections and stuff. Problem is you only have one real data point for the hot button issue, over the last 10 days. And that is the Josh Hawley McCaskill race in Missouri in 2018. And of course, that was on the back of all the, what do I want to say? What was that place just west of St. Louis? I'll think of it. So maybe somebody in the den will be. But, of course, that place was on fire for like a couple of weeks. And it didn't do well for McCaskill. In fact, she only won, I think, 3 of 100 counties in Missouri. It didn't go well. Now, depending on where you're at in the country, maybe that will, maybe your stand or political stand may change. But most of the places that we're looking at for this fall that will actually decide the election on a state basis and electoral votes is probably a lot more like Missouri was in 2018. So whether or not they decide that they like that kind of action with upheaval and everything being on fire, all that. It didn't go well in 2018. But the problem is you only have one place, and it's in the middle of Missouri. So I'll be the first one to say there is not enough data. The anecdotal data, which we have one case, says it's not. So we shall see. Generally, going back historically, it has not been good for the party that is associated with upheaval during elections, most notably 1968 and 1972. But, yeah, it's a long, long time to November. Data dependent. Yes, it certainly is. And you don't have a lot. Okay, sitting at 3202.78. More questions out here. You talked about your short on gold, and what were you thinking on that? And mostly it was the GDX had made GDXJ, as I do it right? XJ, he said. This was a good double repo pattern, and I think we talked about it the other day. I know everybody doesn't listen every day, as they should, to the show. But this was kind of the pattern that I liked. It's a little bit better on the 9-day. That is, you get 10 to 15, 20 days above a 3x3 or a 9-day moving average, a couple days below it, a couple of days above it, and then you get the big reversal. Now, we got 3 dojis out here in a row. And the question is whether or not we're going to see the May 27th high, low in the GDXJ hold here. This is support, though, $42.92 on May 27th with 12 million shares. You got about 8.2. So a little less in the way of volume. You certainly did have a low today that was just 1 penny above this May 27th low. But generally, you buy gold going into the weekend, you sell it back on Monday. So the question is, I wouldn't be buying it here. I'd wait to see whether or not you've got any kind of support come Monday morning after the weekend. But, I mean, the pattern here should show fairly decent support at $42. So you're a little bit above that, right? Yeah, $43.75. So I would love, if you are actually had to feel like you must buy it, I would like to see you go back into this candle, which was kind of the weakest candle on May 1st. That had about 11 million shares, but the low of the day on that one to 39.07. So maybe you get some big thrust, wash everybody out, and then pop back in. That would be a better signal, I think, than trying to pull the trigger today on gold. But what can you say? Let's actually get a gold quote out here. Now, 1684, but not a lot of push back. You know, a nice day for this would have been a close back above 1700, telling you that there were buyers there, but not seeing a lot now. And the question is whether you see any more come Monday morning. And my guess is they'll let it fail at least for a while before they step in. Okay, what else do we have? Question on Avalar. Is it done? AVLR. Avalar, of course, these guys, I mean, it's light volume today. You had a big thrust down on the 27th of February on 2.3 million shares. You're into it with 500,000 shares. So it looks like, you know, somewhere in here around 95, you might find a low, and you got some decent volume at 111.84. So, you know, it says you're probably going to get back into 110 at least for a retest before this thing fails. But again, what you don't want to see is what you saw yesterday, which is the big candle down. Volume kind of increases from the day before. Today, you got kind of a spinning top out here. It's not doing much. You're in a gap. I wouldn't touch this until it tested 92.53 from May 27th. and you see whether or not that can hold. We'll be back in a minute.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as,
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
you see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us, and Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And, yeah, we got just a few minutes left. A little bit of a dip out here, but not bad. Still, let me update this just to make sure. Yeah, still hanging around 3,200. And I will go back. Someone asked me, why do I think maybe there's kind of a sell the news? I will go back. Maybe if everybody's been around for a while, listen to me. There was back when Amazon was trading, I think around $950, $975. I brought up that it just seemed very tired and probably was going to sell off on what was going to be fairly decent news. I think it went from like 950 to 750 for like a handful of days, and then it was right back up at 950 on earnings. And the earnings weren't bad, but it was just people. There wasn't anybody left to buy, and that is the only thing you need to worry about right now. Which is there somebody else willing to buy? Because if they can buy one share, then they're probably going to force 2 shares out of people that are short. But when even the longs kind of give up, it's kind of tough to keep the market going higher, even in a short squeeze, of which this one is of biblical proportions. Again, yesterday we had people short at an all-time record. They did it in a very short amount of time. About half the shorting during the day happened in about 45 minutes. And they were all betting that the numbers were going to be horrible today. On the wrong side of that, I suspect many have issues with margins, and maybe they're not going to get them today. Maybe we didn't move enough. But my guess is that we're probably going to hang up here until they do, or until they where did crying uncle start? I remember you had to cry uncle. Never understood why you had to cry uncle. Anyway, when they cry uncle, I suspect we probably have a little bit of sell the news coming. Still think maybe in a range up here, maybe 3,000 at the bottom, maybe 30.50. Probably got to consolidate a little bit. We'll see you Monday. Same bat channel, same bat time. Remember to sell when you can, not when you have to. And we'll see you with Tom at 3:30.